of them go, it's your two-way check valve that's not working. Make sense? All right? If that's what your mechanic is going to do, you don't really do it that way. You split the tanks in the bus, and that's how you check the one-way check valve as well as the double check valve. All right? Make sense? All right. So any questions on the single check valve? No? You guys get to play with it. You know, put your finger in it. You are the air. It only goes in one direction, not in the opposite direction. It seals the tank. Make sense? All right. So it allows air to flow in one direction only. Again, if that valve is working correctly, it will protect the tank from any leaks, or it won't allow it to go back into the blue side that just fed you the air. Front reservoir. All right. So this is your secondary tank or your secondary system. That front reservoir is going to be a red tank. There's a lot of things built into it. All right. It's going to have a lower warning device switch built into it depending on the manufacturer. All right. Some manufacturers have the switch on the supply side. So it's one switch, two prongs, one for this tank, one for that tank. All right. Or this bus has one switch on this tank, one switch on that tank. On some buses, the switch is built into the gauge itself. So there's a switch here and a switch there. And that's pretty much all I've seen. So it doesn't matter where the switch is. The point is the lower warning device switch is supposed to activate when the pressure is at no lower than 60 psi and all pressures below 60. All right? Make sense? It is pressure sensitive. It is connected to your tank in some way, shape, or form. Gauge, supply tank, primary, or secondary. In addition to that, it is electrical. It requires electricity to work. All right? So, if the tank is just like this one, it's actually connected right there to both the safety valve as well as your tank. It too can leak on the static brake check. Why? Because it is connected to air. Okay? So if I asked you, well, okay, you're doing a static brake check, where are you checking for leaks? Your driver always wants to say in the tank. It's not just the tank. It could be the lower warning device switch. It could be the tank itself. It could be the safety valve. It could be the fittings connected to the tank itself. It could be the one-way check valve. It could be the drain cock. So all kinds of things could be leaking when it comes down to your static brake test. But at all times, it's anywhere. The leak could be anywhere below the service brake pedal. All right? So anything below the service brake pedal, lines, fittings, tank, safety valve, lower pressure switch, drain cocks, one-way check valve, anywhere below the service brake pedal. All right? So, again, low air pressure switch. I'm going to go ahead and pass it around so you can take a look at it. It is preset to a specific number, not lower than what? 60. Not lower than 60 psi, and at all pressures below 60, it must stay on. It can't come on at 60 and then turn off at 55. It has to stay on at all pressures, yes.
Are they adjustable, or when it goes bad, or if it changes?
When it goes bad, it goes bad. A lot of times if it's failing, what will happen is it could be that your gauges are a little bit more inaccurate. But what happens is that in most cases, if it's going to fail, it'll drop considerably, and it's over. I mean, you can't really fix it. So in most cases, all you do is just change it, 20, 30, 40 bucks, whatever it is. Simple to change.
And there's not an adjustment on it?
As far as I know. Now, on that switch, there might be different type of switches or systems, like if they're protecting the gauge itself. So I don't know if you can. It might have an adjuster on it, but as far as I know, I don't believe so. Here's the problem. What you have to adjust and ensure is that it's accurate so that it knows how much pressure is in the tank. If it's failing to do that, I would be scared to try to adjust it. And I doubt that you have an adjustment for it, just because it's so sensitive. It has to sense how much pressure is in the tank.
Yeah.
And if that's going away, then I probably don't want that switch on that bus. All right, rear reservoir, exactly the same thing. You're going to have, again, it's going to receive the air from the supply side. This rear tank, green tank, is going to supply air pressure for the rear brakes themselves. Everything in green. Has a lower pressure switch on this system. It may be on the tank itself, or it could be on the supply reservoir, or in the gauges. It doesn't matter. The lower warning device is going to come on at 60.